Good morning, everybody. Mark Finan here in the home weather office on this Thursday morning. It's now the second day of January 2025. Not sure how many times I'm going to get that right over the next couple of days, 2025. This is the morning briefing coming from the home weather office, and as I look out the window, it is a bright and sunny morning. The clouds we had yesterday have gone. That little weather system didn't do much. It brought a few sprinkles to areas north of Sacramento County. But we do have some rain and snow coming for tomorrow. And this is going to be a nice little shot of rain, but especially of snow that you're going to have to pay attention to if you're planning on traveling through the Sierra during the day tomorrow. There'll be a way to avoid it that I'll show you in a second. Plus, I'm going to give you a national look because we still have some very cold air that's going to be plunging into the United States over the next 7 days, as well as a snowstorm that will be making some headlines nationally as well. So let's start with what's happening this morning. Right now in California, we have mainly clear skies. There are high clouds as you go farther to the north, but this is the system that we're looking at out here. We have some moisture. We have a little low out in here, all of that combining to make for what is going to bring us some rain and snow during the day tomorrow. But during the day today, what we will see is sun and clouds and comfortable temperatures. We could see some valley temperatures get up to around 60 degrees or so, which is nice for early January. But we are going to see a big change into the day tomorrow. So let's take a look at a couple of models and time this out for you so you can go through the next couple of days and time all of this out. As I mentioned, during the day today, we do have some rain north, so Redding to the north. I've been saying that today is going to be a nice day. This is 4 o'clock this afternoon. It is dry south of Redding, and even the rain up around Redding and up toward Shasta is very light. And if you're traveling north on I-5, notice that all of this is rain. We don't have anything in the way of snow just yet. You'll also notice that the pressure gradient is very weak, so we'll have light winds. All in all, very, very weak here at the beginning of this, and nothing in the Sierra as of 4 o'clock this afternoon. Let's go through the night tonight, and you'll notice that the pressure gradient starts to tighten up a little bit. There is a low in here. This is during the overnight. It'll be windy and wet along the north coast. So for those of you in Crescent City down toward northern Mendocino County, we will see rain and some wind. But in the valley and the Sierra, everything is still dry. Let me go to 7 o'clock in the morning on Friday. All right, this is 7 a.m. Now, we are starting to get some rain in Butte County, some light showers around Sacramento. The Sierra is still dry. If you are planning on traveling in the Sierra tomorrow, if tomorrow is a ski day for you, I know a lot of you like to ski on Fridays, the morning will be okay, but you'll get snow as you go through the day. But the morning is going to be a good time to travel through the mountains with some light rain developing in the valley. Again, that's a snapshot of 7 a.m. A couple of hours later, we'll go up to noontime. Light rain in the valley. We have snow in the Sierra. The snow levels will start off relatively high, but quickly drop down to below pass level and then settle in that 5,000 to 6,000 foot range with good snow in the Sierra. We'll talk more about accumulations here in a minute. Now, this is 1 o'clock in the afternoon. We have rain in the valley, rain in the foothills, and this is going to rain pretty good for a while. As you can see, notice how this is relatively light in here. This is at noontime, but as we get into the afternoon, it starts to increase a little bit, and the snow level drops down. We may even see snow below 5,000 feet as we get into the afternoon as colder air comes in, and then it all wraps up. There may be some showers into the evening, but as we get into the day on Saturday, everything will be dry. Now, this is the HRRR. Let me show you a couple of things on the HRRR. The total precip accumulation here from the HRRR is lower than the one I'm going to show you on the NAM. It's really interesting here. The HRRR has a big rain shadow area here on the western side of the valley, showing no rain in parts of Yolo County and Colusa County, and on the west slope showing about an inch or so of rain. For Sacramento, only about 1 to 2/10 of an inch of rain, and even less as you get towards Stockton and Modesto. So the HRRR is showing a very strong orographic event, meaning that the west slope and orographically favored areas in the Coast Range and in the foothills would get more rain than the valley, much more rain, and that's also reflected in the snow. So, if Sacramento, I'm saying if this is right, if Sacramento only got 1/10 of an inch of rain, the amount of snow that this model is picking up is quite a bit. This is showing more than a foot of snow I'm thinking we could see 8 to 12 inches above 6,000 feet, and maybe something close to 6 inches of snow down, 6 to 8 inches of snow, maybe down to 5,000 feet. This model is a little bit more robust. So this one's showing a lot more snow and not as much rain, at least not for the valley. Let's show you the NAM, because the NAM is a little bit wetter for the valley, but the timing is very similar. This is going through, this is this afternoon at 4 o'clock. And as you can see, same thing, a little bit of light rain to the north. And once again, all rain to the north. No snow on I-5 just yet. Let's go to 7 o'clock tomorrow morning right here. And we are starting to see some rain in the valley. The HRRR was already getting more precip in the Sierra, but it's still showing that the early morning hours are going to be fine for travel in the mountains. This is 1 o'clock in the afternoon, snow in the Sierra. This is once again a little bit slower than the HRRR, but similar for the valley, showing some nice rain between 1 and 4 in the afternoon, tapering off to showers as we get into the evening hours. The snow gives up, and then Saturday and Sunday would both be dry days. This model, like I said, is showing quite a bit less. This is showing, let's see, in terms of snow, this is showing 8 to 10 to 12 inches of snow in the high Sierra, with similar amounts down to about 5,000 feet. But in terms of rain, it is showing quite a bit more for the valley. It's showing as much as a half an inch of rain. I think that the Sacramento area, the Roseville area, Folsom would probably see a third to a half an inch of rain. I think that's quite reasonable. And for those of you in Grass Valley and Nevada City and places like that, an inch and a quarter, I think is pretty reasonable. Same thing in Placerville, up to around an inch. And for those of you in Tuolumne County, probably about a half an inch of rain for areas like Sonora and Twain Harte. And for those of you in Solano County, probably about a quarter to a third of an inch of rain. So it's interesting to see the difference in the models here. Very little rain from the HRRR, but the NAM is a little bit wetter. And I think that the NAM is going to be a little bit closer to reality, just because of that little burst we're going to see in the afternoon between about 1 and 4. I think it is going to be a little bit wetter. All right, let's give you the national outlook, because this is going to be making a lot of headlines. So just kind of wanted to let you know what we're going to be seeing here. So we're looking coast to coast here with the GFS. And as we go through the next couple of days, this is very cold air. Now pay attention to this purple line. I mentioned this before. This is the 540 thickness line. And in areas east of the Rockies, this is a good rain snow indicator. And also you can kind of think about it as the boundary between cold air and warm air. Of course, the farther north you go, the colder the air is. But just kind of think about that as the boundary between the warm air and the cold air. And you can see right now it slices from Montana down to South Carolina, and this is Friday night. It's the system that's coming out of the west that will turn into a pretty good snowmaker here. This is Saturday night, Sunday morning. A low developing here in Oklahoma, snow to the north, and notice that purple line here, the 540 thickness line, goes right through here. So we have warm air out ahead of it, we have cold air behind it, and then as we go through the day on Sunday, that turns into a pretty good storm. This is Sunday afternoon. Now, I was just looking at the NFL. Unfortunately, Kansas City is playing at Denver. So I was hoping there'd be that this would impact some NFL games. Green Bay is playing at home, but it looks like it's just going to be cold there. So unfortunately, I like watching football games when it's snowy and windy and all that sort of thing. It doesn't look as though this is going to affect any NFL games. But it is going to perhaps affect travel. It looks like the worst of it may just stay south of Chicago, but they'll likely see some snow there. But this is going to make some headlines, because that's going to be a pretty good band of snow that goes from, let's say, parts of Missouri and Iowa through Illinois, Indiana, Ohio, and then into Pennsylvania. But watch what happens with that 540 thickness line. Here it is right here. And again, you can see how it indicates the rain snow here. But then look at how the cold air drives in behind it, sending the cold air all the way down into Texas. And then as the next little wave of rain and snow comes, look where the rain snow line is here. This is going all the way out to the end of next week. Now you're seeing snow in Texas as the cold air, that polar vortex that we'll all be hearing about, drives the cold air all the way down to the Gulf states. So then we see snow much farther south. So that's the end of next week. This is the early part of next week. So you go from snow in the central and northern plains to snow in Texas as that cold air drives farther and farther south. Excuse me. So that's everything I've got for you this morning. Nice today. Nothing in the way of rain unless you're up on the north coast and north of Reading. And then we will see enough snow to hamper travel, especially on Friday afternoon and Friday evening. But then the weekend will be fine for travel. The weekend is going to be dry. And for California, right now, it looks as though all of next week will be dry. Hope that doesn't last too long. That's everything I have for you this morning on this Thursday morning. Kind of feels like Monday, but it is Thursday. Make it a great day. I'll talk with you later.